Hello and welcome to the Rai Centre in Amsterdam. It's Sunday, September the 11th. You're watching IBC TV News. In today's programme, how sports coverage is leading the race to new platforms. IBC picks its stars of the future, but are there enough of them? And we see what's flying high in the creation zone. Whether or not you like sport, there's no denying its importance to broadcasters. It's driven the growth of satellite and cable television. Now it's doing the same for new platforms. Today, sport takes the field at the IBC conference with several sessions devoted to it. Natasha Saei reports.
With the London 2012 Olympics next summer and the FIFA World Cup fast approaching in 2014, the pressure is on broadcasters and the organising bodies to provide for an increasingly sport-hungry audience. So what's the plan?
We will produce the best images possible from the World Cup. I think the world and the fan expect that they get not only good technical quality, but also good editorial quality.
As the host nation of the next World Cup, all eyes are on Brazil's broadcasters. And with millions there expected to watch matches on mobiles, the focus is very much on portable devices.
We are going to shoot specifically for the mobile devices. Because when you shoot for HD TV, you have to frame for big screens. Of course, this is not appropriate for small screens. So we are going to have special camera, one or not many, but one or two cameras specifically for mobile devices.
Targeting the mobile market is also a key strategy for companies covering London 2012.
We're going to be able to deliver content to them on the device of their choice at the times that they're interested in consuming our Olympic content. And our focus will be on keeping our audience engaged in our content as long as possible, whether they choose to consume it on one device at a time or if they choose to complement their consumption of that by watching it on television and complementing that with a handheld device or a tablet.
What about watching the Olympics on TV? Will the much talked about Super HD really make an impact? The domestic market won't be ready, but the SHD action will be available on a few big screens.
It's essentially ultra high definition, 16 times the size of high definition as we know it. We're going to be presenting it in 3 locations in the UK, in Glasgow, Bradford and in London, for audiences to essentially see the next to being their best experience, really. So if you want to come and see essentially a locked off camera shot in 16 times the quality of HD, 2012 is going to be the first time we do it.
So when it comes to sport, the money is on SHD, 3D and portable devices to win audiences. But which one of them will get the break and emerge as the overall victor? We'll have a better idea after the Olympics.
Now, this show may be all about technology, but the industry is just as dependent on people, who'll be the broadcast innovators of the future. Well, IBC has a programme to encourage the best talent, as Gillian Kelly reports.
If you want to check out the latest broadcasting equipment, IBC is the place to be, with stall after stall of cutting-edge displays. But ambitious technology needs ambitious talent, and the search for the next generation is underway. These young professionals share a passion for technology. Last year they took part in IBC's Rising Stars programme, aimed at finding and nurturing the technical talent of the future. 12 months on, they're back in Amsterdam and couldn't be happier with the progress they've made.
Since last year I've had so many projects. I met Ross last year, he's got me on quite a few really interesting things like that. Yeah, my CV's exploded.
It was a good way to come into the IBC and sort of feel involved and feel like you've got a part here, where I can see that it could somehow be daunting for someone coming into the industry.
This is a really good opportunity to get up close and personal with leaders in the industry, practical help, and get an insight into how people are working and what sort of roles and jobs there might be for them as they come into the industry.
But alongside insight and talent comes knowledge. FreeSat's Peter Seller won his place at this year's IBC after becoming the RTS Young Technologist of the Year. He says anyone wanting to break into the industry needs to know what they're talking about.
Anyone who's working within a broadcast platform has to be able to also understand everything that's happening in the IP platform as well, because they're just, you know, they're one and the same almost nowadays. And you can see that with regards to how more and more manufacturers are releasing products that have their own connected TV platforms that they're dealing with, and you know, you have to be in a position to understand that and support it as much as you can.
And if it's facts you're looking for, then help is at hand. As co-author of the MXF format, Amberfin CTO Bruce Devlin knows a thing or two about technology. He's now set up a series of short videos and webinars to share his knowledge with others.
They ought to understand about file formats and how file formats react with the business of being a media company, and how the business of a media company affects the underlying technology. Because nowadays you need to be an expert in video and IT and the business to really be relevant to the media companies that are trying to hire bright young people.
So the search for the bright young stars of the future is on, and broadcasting's bright future depends on those rising stars being found.
Gillian Kelly there with some of the new emerging talent coming into the broadcast industry. But there is a problem. The broadcast industry seems to be struggling to attract young engineers. Why is that, and what can be done? Well, with me is Naomi Clymer from Sony and Roger Crumpton from IABM. Roger, starting with you, why do we have this problem?
Well, a number of factors combining. We've got an ageing workforce. We've got IT and broadcast technology merging, which requires new skills in the industry. And we've got a shortage of talented young people coming into the bottom of the industry because we're not doing enough to attract the best talent into our part of the industry.
Those are the symptoms. What's the cure?
A number of things we have to do. I think all of us need to do more with continuing professional development, so we retrain engineers as new technologies emerge. I think we need to do closer work with universities, but particularly I think we need to do work with schools to help people make the right decisions when they're 14 or 15, and again when they're 16 or 17, about their subject choices and their course choices, to make sure they don't rule themselves out before they get a chance to rule themselves into a career in broadcast and media technology.
Indeed. Naomi, you're approaching this from a slightly different angle, and that your concern is not just the shortage of engineers, but the shortage of women going into engineering. Why does that matter?
Well, when we looked at it, if we are struggling to find engineering and we're not attracting women, then we're missing 50% of the talent pool, so we need to do something about that. I'm also convinced that more diversity leads to more creativity, and that's got to be good for our business.
Would you agree with Roger that education is where it starts? It starts in the schools, in the colleges, in the universities, and if so, do you have plans to tackle that?
Yes, absolutely. We started looking at kind of recruitment and retention, but we very quickly realised we needed to get into schools. And so we're doing quite a few things like Teen Talk, and we're working with some organisations like the IABM and the IET to get to the school children and convince them that it's an exciting career.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Roger, you touched on it, about sexing it up, if you like, for want of a much better expression.
Well, yes, because you've got the whole of the IT and the telecommunications industry with big brand names out there looking for the best talent coming out of universities. We're a much smaller industry, and if we want the best talent, we've got to go and work hard to bring them into our sector against the competition from the majors.
Absolutely. Roger, Naomi, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. OK, time now to take a look at today's conference programme. First up in the Emerald Room, the latest news from the research labs. Immersivity is the buzzword here. It's about finding new ways to enhance the viewing experience. Panoramic images and 3D audio are among the topics. That's at 9:30. Across in the forum, the subject is sport. At 10:30, next year's Olympics come under the spotlight. That's followed in the afternoon by a look at the challenges of delivering live sport to multiple platforms. And later, the spotlight moves to business models. Exclusive sports coverage is something we know viewers will pay for. So, how can we get the best returns from mobile devices? All these sessions are in the forum. A big day for sport there, up to 4:30. Now some added value sessions. IBC's popular What Caught My Eye strand gets underway in room E102 with a look at some of the most exciting products on show. It'll focus on the Pacific Basin market and what's selling there. That starts at 9:30. Following that, consumer products take the stage with a panel looking at the latest apps and gizmos. Still in room E102, there's a look at the latest moves towards agreeing broadcast standards for 3D TV. That's at 2 o'clock. The day's last session in room E102 will focus on the mastering and distribution of 3D movies. That starts at 4 and runs until 5:30. And finally, there's a late afternoon session on archiving. Many broadcasters have yet to decide what to do with their tape and film libraries. A panel of experts will be discussing the options starting at 4 p.m. in the Emerald Room. Now, over the next couple of days, the focus here at the Rise Centre falls on 3D. There are many exciting new developments for both consumers and broadcasters. IBC's Phil White gave me a rundown on what will be happening.
Well, indeed, and I mean, you're going to have the experience over this weekend of looking at live volleyball in 3D in the conference. We're going to have a preview clip from Titanic 3D, which is the forthcoming movie from next year, plus, you know, a whole host of other 3D experiences.
And IBC is obviously the place you come to discover the technologies that go with all of that. But what about the business model?
Well, I think that really does begin, that journey begins today and tomorrow. In the conference there's going to be a whole series of sessions covering a whole range of topics on 3D that if you want to look at your business and work out where it needs to be positioned for 3D, then all of the knowledge and all of the participants in that marketplace are going to be there. And it really will give you a chance to decide your strategy.
Phil White. Now, many broadcast companies choose IBC to announce major orders. With news of these and today's other business stories, it's over to John Willits.
Grass Valley has announced orders from 10 companies. They include Nova TV in the Czech Republic and the Dutch OB facility Viditech. Products include cameras, switches and a Trinix multiviewer. Other main customers are in America and the Middle East. Satellite operator Eutelsat Communications has launched a news-gathering service on its radical new spot beam Ka-band satellite. The company is showing the magical qualities of the system at IBC.
We've got a new satellite. We launched at the end of last year the world's biggest high-throughput satellite. That's like an IP system up in the sky, and it covers the whole of Western Europe and Eastern Europe, parts of North Africa and Scandinavia, and it provides a total switching of 70 gigabits per second.
Sony has completed Scandinavia's first 3D-ready OB truck. It's for the TV2-owned production company OB Team. The truck was built at Broadcast Networks in Britain. TV2 has also upgraded its studios with 15 Sony cameras and 3D-ready vision mixers. 3D pictures from the World Athletic Championships in South Korea were carried to the KBS Media Center by TVIP's JPEG 2000 video gateways. The footage was sent in 2 synchronized, uncompressed 10-bit streams. And Ikegami Europe has appointed a new president. Masanori Kondo joins from the company's Japan-based corporate strategy and marketing division.
Customer satisfaction is including providing our latest technology and continuously customer support. So this is our main customer satisfaction concept.
Those are today's main business stories. If your company's won an important order, please come and tell us. You'll find our studio at the Production Village in Hall 11, and we'll try to get your story on air.
Thank you, John. Now, each day of IBC, one of our reporters will be taking a close-up look at a particular section of the show. Today, it's the turn of Andrew Kerr. He's been looking at the Creation Zone in halls 9 to 11. Here are some of his favourite products.
Let's start with one high-flying product for producers looking for spectacular aerial shots. Anditech have worked on this high-flying camera that broadcasters are already expressing their interest in.
The cost is about 1/3 of a cable cam, conventional cable cam systems able to fly indoor on three-dimensional space. So that's a very cheaper system. You can rent for a one-day event for 5,000 euro, all the crew, all the systems.
Over the past couple of years, these DSLR video-enabled cameras have become extremely popular with filmmakers. Joined now by Mark Fensom from Canon. Mark, what's so special about these cameras?
There are many things which make these cameras quite special, but one of the key things is they brought a cinematic look to the film industry and to the arts sort of photographers at a very low price point. So everybody could really afford to buy these cameras and get this cinematic look, which is out of the price range of many people if they're to choose a high-end video camcorder.
Well, here's one product that defies categorization. It's the DEV5K from Sony. It's a pair of binoculars that records the images that you see on an SD card. Now they're recorded in 3D and the image is perfectly stabilized.
We were kind of looking for new categories, something to develop using our own video technology. And we have learned that there are certain market demands for basically people using binoculars who want additional device to make sure they have taped or recorded what they have wanted to do. So this solution is 2-in-1 actually, by taking footprints what they have seen.
Radio journalists can face a bewildering array of buttons and faders as they try to meet tight news deadlines. But there's one German company here at IBC that's trying to make life easier for them. The Journalist Audio Distribution Engine, or JADE, turns complicated routing into a one-touch process.
Any device is available at the same time. You preset the cross points in between those interlinks, save them as snapshot, addressing those simple applications like telephone interview, voiceovers and so on, and you make them available by a single button click.
So if you're looking to make inspiring content, visit the Creation Zone in halls 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12.
Andrew Kerr reporting there. Now tonight, IBC honours achievements across the broadcast industry at a glittering awards ceremony. This year's top award, the International Honour for Excellence, goes to the doyen of natural history presenters, Sir David Attenborough. At the age of 85, he's just finished another major series. Awards for the best IBC stands have also been announced. The prize for the best large free design goes to projector and displays manufacturer Christie Digital, there in Hall 9. In the smaller free design category, the winner is Tangent in Hall 7. And Fabrics was chosen for the best shell scheme stand. You'll find them in Hall 8. And let me remind you again about IBC's exhibition business briefings. They're designed to help you understand the IBC connected world, and you can win an iPad 2 in the demonstration area. And finally, something which sadly needs no reminder. Those who were here 10 years ago today will never forget the horror that swept the show as pictures of the terrorist attacks in America reached our screens. Some visitors to IBC lost loved ones on 9/11, and our thoughts are with them today. In many ways, the business of broadcasting will never be quite the same. Well, that's all we have for you today. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow.
It'll be dull and humid in Amsterdam this morning with outbreaks of rain and a high of 19 degrees. Later in the day it'll dry up and there'll be sunny spells. But by the evening the rain will be back and the temperature will drop to 15 degrees. And the outlook. Monday will be mainly dry and windy with the odd shower. Tuesday and Wednesday will be unsettled with a mixture of sunshine and rain.